Hey y'all, this is Philippe the Learn to Grow guy. Don't pay attention to the back. Looks like a mess, but don't worry about it, okay? But let's focus on what we're here for. Guys, I'm out here in my potato field and I am actually digging up a few potatoes. As I always do, well, what's in that row right there is primarily Jerusalem artichokes. But getting back to the point, typically every year I always dig out of some of the potatoes to see how things are going, okay? And I think as you can see some of the leaves back there, they're orange looking. There were some flowers out here, and I'm not sure where we're at with the flowers right now, because as you can see, wherever flowers were, there seem to be no more. Like here, for example, used to be flowers there, but they're not there anymore. I'm assuming something must have came through and consumed them. Okay, like I said, I'm not sure where we're at with the flowering, but I know that flowering had happened already. Okay, has been ongoing, like okay, but which means that some of the potatoes should be at decent sizes. Now, like I said, it's my annual practice to dig some of these potatoes up. You see that yellowish leaves, yellowing leaves and such. Now, I already started digging some of these potatoes out, and I was digging them out by hand. So now I decided to make sure the results I was getting is actually the results I was getting. So I brought the shovel out to dig deeper to see what I'm pulling up. And to give you guys a hint, I'm not getting the yield that I know that I'm supposed to get. There's a little baby one here. Okay. But the monstrosity of the potato yield I was expecting, I'm not getting. And I'm going to share with you why. Okay. As you can see here, there are no wireworms. Remember last year with the mustard greens? Whether or not the mustard greens actually worked. Out here in this field, I actually put two things out. We had the mustard greens, which were supposed to help keep the wireworms away. And that was that was one of your suggestions out there. And the other thing I did is I put out beneficial nematodes. And that particular variety is one as to where it's supposed to help get rid of the wireworms as well. As you can see around these beds, I do have onions growing. All right. The whole concept of growing the onions is supposed to be to keep certain rodents or whatever pests out of here. And but however, my yield is low. And I will show you why. Let's see. How's this batch? Oh, I see a piece of one here. Okay, I'm not going to show you I'm not going to show you, but I'm just saying that my yield of potatoes are not where they should be. They're not where I'm expecting them to be, and that ought not be so. Okay, I'm going to pull this plant out. Yep, this one has some baby potatoes in there. Maybe I'll see if I can replant that. I'm not sure if that will work or not. If that will if the plant will remain alive. Because potatoes are not like certain varieties of tomatoes as to where they are, what's the word? Indeterminate. Well, at least not to my knowledge. There may be some varieties out there that are indeterminate potatoes. But for now, all I know is that the amount of potatoes I'm supposed to be getting, this is one of the other potatoes that I had grown from previous years. Oh shucks, looks like I cut a potato. See, there's one here, piece there, another piece there. But like I said, as far as the purple potatoes, the yield that I'm expecting, I'm not seeing it. Okay? Yeah, I think that might have been part of the original. Yeah, I think this might have been too. All right, let's go to the table and I'll show you what I've gotten. Now, what I dug out here, Okay, I'm not sure where this video cut off at, but I did dig up another potato plant here, and I didn't get anything. I really didn't get anything, but since I missed it, since you guys missed it with the video, I'll go a little bit further here, and I'll dig some of this out. Pull this potato plant out. It's got some babies on there, which is fine, which means that I could have picked that, I might have picked that one up a little bit too early. But as far as my purple potatoes, I'm not seeing the yield I'm supposed to be getting here. Okay, I see these little ones here, these little nuggets. I'll toss those over there. And there may be another nugget here. And I'll toss that one over there as well. Okay, but as far as the delicious potatoes, the delicious purple variety, I'm not exactly seeing the results that I've been anticipating. Okay, all right, I'm gonna step this, so I'm gonna step to the other side and pace off. And guys, if I did this already with you guys, please forgive me. Okay, so that's 3, 6. Okay, so I've got 6 foot of stuff here, of ground that I dug up, that should have been very prolific, very full of potatoes, and that's not exactly what I got. Okay, so now I'm going to collect some of these things and go to the table with you. Okay, now that we're back at the table, I'm about to show you what happened. But to give you a little precursor, last year when I had Jerusalem artichokes out there, I was trying to harvest some. When I harvest some in the early spring, I mean, it's not in the spring, but later on in the, I think it might have been around August-ish, I did find some good-sized Jerusalem artichokes over here, okay? And everything was coming along fine. So I figured that everything was cool, so therefore I left them in the ground to winter. So, because if you pull out Jerusalem artichokes out of the ground and stuff like that, and you can put them in your fridge or wherever, leave them in the countertop, wherever you leave them, they go bad. They go soft over the course of a few days, and then you end up, losing everything that you try to do, no matter how you try to store them. There's only 2 methods I know of storing Jerusalem artichokes, and that's to get containers, put sand, put a layer, and layer them, alternate the layers of Jerusalem artichokes and sand, and that's how you can keep them indoors. Otherwise, outside in your garden, you could just leave them, and typically they'll do fine over the winter time. Okay, so let me show you what I've got for this year with my purple potatoes. Okay, these are they. Now here's the problem, okay? Here's the problem that I'm encountering, okay? This is a problem. They're eating them up underground, all right? They're eating up my potatoes underground. Now this is fine. This is a nice sized one, actually, in my opinion. But you see that? They're eating my potatoes underground, just as they did with my Jerusalem artichoke, okay? So this has some biting marks all right here as well. This is what they did to my Jerusalem artichoke last year. Okay, well, this year in the spring over the winter, over this past winter, that's what they did to my Jerusalem artichoke. That's to where when I went out there in the spring to try to harvest some, to try to get some to eat, they were not there. They were consumed. Yeah, this feels a little soft. Let me put this one back in the ground. Maybe let's get another crop going. This one's trying to germinate. Well, it's chitting. It has chitted. So anyway, this is what I have that's hard. Well, I can cut a piece off of there, and even this I can cut a piece off of there as well. But otherwise, I got some babies, which means that for some of the plants I may have pulled them a little bit early in testing them, but it is what it is. This is what I've got over in a 6-foot area that is, in my opinion, edible. Like I said, with this here, I may cut this off, or I may just chuck it, put it, see if it chits, and then I can put it back and see maybe I can get a second crop this year out of these potatoes. But otherwise, that's what these critters have been doing to me. Next year, what I'm looking at doing is removing the entire row. Okay, I'm going to actually put raised beds there over the winter time. Okay, well, nowadays everything requires funding, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically shift the beds over onto the walk areas, Let me try to demonstrate for you here. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the soil out, put it in this area here, which is the walking area, right? And I'm going to put out framing to go along both sides, okay? Oh, here, let's use this one. I'm going to put framing going out this way all the way to the end and framing on that side going all the way to the end. And I'm going to cap the ends, okay, both ends. And then underneath, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some hard cloth. And it's my understanding that they also sell the stainless steel type of material as to where you can put it under there, it'll keep rodents out. The good thing about stainless steel, if you can find it cheap, you have to get as much of that as you can. But otherwise, as far as the hard cloth, it's typically galvanized. It's a galvanized, fabric. So like the chicken wire I have over there, okay? It's galvanized material. But over time, what's going to happen with galvanized material is that it's going to rust, and ultimately mice, rodents, whatever, voles, they're all rodents to me. They all can crawl in from underneath and actually get to your plants, okay? But what I'm sort of hoping for is that if I do it, and it's like, and they come back and they try it and they encounter that, it will just encourage them and they will not come back. Whether that truly happens or not, only time will tell. Okay, so that's my plan for the winter, but that's going to take a lot of lumber. It's going to take a lot of torching because I'm trying to use that old, I think, Japanese or Korean methodology to make sure that your wood material lasts a long time in the ground. Like with these here, okay, like with these here. These, I'm waiting to torch these so I can build trellises and stuff like that for grapes. These are supposed to be sugarcane. I'm not sure if they're going to be ready on time or not, but that's sugarcane. But like these here, you see that? These were torched at one point in time. I did torch them, and they're still going. I don't have a problem with them at this point, but I'm hoping that stuff lasts a whole lot longer, so that because I know in Chicago I was pulling stuff out I was swapping wood out every 4 or 5 years, but what I was using was actually how's that thing? Regular lumber, and I was just putting a coating of oil on them. These are sweet potatoes. I think you guys already know this. This is a variety of different potatoes. I'm not sure if those critters are underneath. My okra is not coming along too good here. Yeah, they're not coming along too well at all. See? Yeah, it's like something may have been picking on them. See that one? Not that weed there, but this one here. Yeah, this seems to be the best one here. But the good, well, here's another one here. But otherwise, I do have sweet potatoes, and that's sweet basil, and that's weed. It's called Crabus degrassus. Okay, so that's what these beds are. These not collard, kale. They're doing very well. This is, also just as a reminder to you guys, this is also the bed where I had wire. I think I had copper wire on one end, and I had the galvanized steel stuff on the other side. Things seem to be doing fine. This was a plant that I put back over here. It's actually a Brussels sprout plant. Looks like something's been feasting on it. It just fell, but I got to come back here and eradicate them to make sure that I do have something edible. So anyway, these here, like I said, they seem to be doing quite well. And I've got these over here too. They were planted at about the same time. So whether or not I'm getting some good results like I'm supposed to get from the electroculture experiment, I couldn't really tell you too much at this time because everything looks sort of like it should be. And there would be no reason why this should be thriving that well over here. I guess this is also a little electroculture thing, status update as well. So, but these seem to be doing fine. These seem to be the curly ones, and those seem to be like the dino kale. And we'll see what happens with them. Otherwise, from potato update to electroculture update. This is Philippe. I'm sort of signing out. I got to get back to finishing mowing and weeding so that things are presentable. I was gone for a couple of weeks, and the grass was just too tall. It was sickening to me. Yeah, it was sickening to me. So I mowed all this stuff yesterday. I still got more mowing to do. Let me get back to work, y'all. Talk with you later. Oh yes, and before I forget, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and also be sure to leave comments around. Okay, be sure to leave a comment, see what I'm doing wrong, and if you have a better way of getting rid of these rodents that's underground, please share. I'd really like to bring this to an end because I don't really want to do all the work of digging everything out and then putting hard wire underneath. Okay. Anyway, leave comments. See y'all later.